Stampers, it's Christy with Stampin' Texas. Well, today I've got a fun gatefold card I wanted to share with you. I received this one from my friend Melody, and I just love how it uses the designer paper and you get the benefit of being able to see both sides of the paper. So this is the one I've kind of been playing with using the Retro Fresh Designer Series paper. So I was going to show that with you today. The other thing you'll notice, this first card I made, when I made it, I made mine a little too tall. So I'll give you the measurements for this shorter one. The other thing I wanted to add was a belly band, so the sentiment and everything can be taken off very easily, but it doesn't always pop open like this. I wanted it to lay flat. Now you can adhere your stamped piece to the front just like I did on this first one, but I'm going to show you it with the belly band. So let me show you what you're going to need. This is the Designer Series paper, Retro Fresh, and I've cut this to 5.5, and it's 12 inches long, so all I did was make one cut at 5.5. The other thing I did is I did score it. Now I found that scoring with the Stampin' trimmer was the easiest thing to do because I get to score and we've got to do a little bit of cutting. So first let me tell you the score marks. You're going to put your paper in and you're going to score at 2 inches, and I've already done it on this, 4 inches. So you would just lay that down, go over it like that. Keep going down until you get to the 8-inch mark and then the 10-inch mark. So then this is kind of what you should have, like this. Okay. Now the next thing we're going to need to do is on each of these sides, I've gone ahead and marked it, but let me show you. There's a little bitty dot. I don't know if you can see that very well. But what I did is I wanted to have a little mark halfway down. So half of 5.5 is 2 3/4. So I've put a little dot there. And then I flipped it around, did the same thing. Because now what we're going to do on our paper trimmer is we're going to line up with this score mark. Let me see if you can see that score mark, and we're going to make an angle down to where the little pencil mark was that we just made. So let me see if I can, kind of hard in this light, I know in the paper it's kind of a busy print, but it's going to be about like that. And the dark blade is our cut blade and the light colored blade is the score. So I'm going to do this side now too. Line that up. There we go. So I'm kind of going from that inside score mark down to where I made that little pencil mark. I think that should be good. Just like that. So that's basically how you make that fold. Now we're going to save these pieces because we want to add them to the front of the card so we get the benefit of that little bit. So we just need a little bit of adhesive. It actually doesn't take much at all to get those pieces on there. And I'll stand this up when I'm doing it at home, but since I'm trying to show you on the camera as well, and you know, yeah. Let's do that. So just line that up, fold it over, do the same thing on this side. And if you see that pencil mark on your card, you can always just erase that little bit. There we go. So now, a couple things. I used the Oh Happy Day stamp. That is from the Starburst Saying stamp set. So all I did was ink that up and I stamped it in Tangerine Tango and I stamped on a piece of Very Vanilla. I cut that out using the Starburst framelets. These are great framelets. They coordinate, so you can buy the stamp set and the framelit in a bundle and save you some money. And then the other thing I did is I did Coastal Cabana out of cardstock, and I just grabbed my circle collection of framelets and grabbed the circle that was a little bit larger than the Starburst. So I just cut that out for the front. And so through the magic of TV, I've already got it. And if you're not sure how to use framelits, be sure to watch my other video and I'll show you how to run these through. I added some dimensionals to the back. You like how I reuse cardstock. If I stamp on one side and goober it up, I flip it over and use the other side. So that's going to go on just like that. You'll need a piece of Very Vanilla for the inside, and I cut this to 3 3/4 by 5 1/4. Oops. And that's going to just go right on the inside. About like that. Now the last thing, I don't like it always popping open like this. So what I did is I created a little belly band, and you might want to write these measurements down. It's just a 1-inch strip by 11, and it's from baked brown sugar, but I have scored it. So if you start at one edge, you're going to score at 2 3/4, and then 3, and then again at, looks like 6 7/8, and then 7. So the idea is this is what you're creating, and you're just scoring it so it kind of has some room in there for the bulkiness of the card. So let's just add adhesive on one end, fold that over. Like, oh, yeah, now it scooted on me. Now the nice thing about snail adhesive is usually you can get that off long enough to scoot that back down and re-stick. And don't worry if you have any goobers on that side, because guess what? Our little stamped piece is going to go right over it. So I'm going to add more adhesive onto this piece. Whoop, just wanted to take cardstock with it. So that's just going to fit right on there. Now you can fold your card up and fit it all inside your little belly band. And there you go. You've got a fun gatefold card that is ready to go for friends. Isn't that cute? I hope you've enjoyed today's video, and for more fun project ideas, be sure to visit my website, Stampin' Texas. Thank you so much.